Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead because I'll record it so they can watch after if they want to, and I'm sure some will hop on. Um, so we're gonna go through warm markets, talk about the draws from November, from interest to action. I watched a really good video on it today. I want to talk about Tower Garden Facebook parties, like do one as a group maybe this month because they're really great gifts, and about some January shreds because that's the month that everybody wants to get healthy again. And then stuff to think about that we're going to talk about next time on December 18th is about leaving our bullshit stories behind in 2017, planning for a solid 2018. Where did they go? Solidifying our beliefs because all of us need to work on those areas, mostly believing in ourselves, which is totally my problem all the time. And then raise your vibration events. So with the draw for November, that draw comes out of the extra bonus. I can't remember what it's called, but business incentive bonus, I think is what it's called. When you start, Bev, when you get to that SSC spot, you get an extra bonus each month, depending on what the team did. So unfortunately, the numbers were kind of crummy this month. So instead of drawing this month, I'm going to put all the draw names, the few that were there, into December's month, and that prize will be a little bit bigger for the end of the month. So that's what's happening there. But yeah, we got to hustle to make prize money. So so I want to talk about warm market because I figured this would be a good topic since everybody's going to Christmas parties and, you know, seeing their family and stuff again at this time of year. I know we just had ours on Saturday. So I figured this would be a good topic because they can be our like worst enemies, but they can also be our best resources. So just remind yourself, like some of my warm market, not you, Mel, because you're awesome, but some of them, you know, are like the most skeptical or rude or like just awful like about it. You know, they are the ones that are going to call you down and tell you you can't do this and it's stupid or whatever. But really, genuinely, they do that because they care. It's because of the misunderstanding, right? It's a lack of knowledge in the network marketing business and what we're doing, and they're genuinely worried about you, right? People might not know what you've invested in this. They might think that you're doing something totally different than what you're actually doing. And family members just want the best for you, right? And anything off the normal beaten path just makes people really worried. So just know when people are scuzzing on you and saying their opinions, just try and tell yourself, even if it doesn't feel like it, because it usually doesn't feel like it. Usually you just want to yell back, but just try and tell yourself that they genuinely care. They're telling you because they care, and just keep going about your business. And that's where that belief comes in, the belief in yourself and the products and the business too. Like we all need to get so steady with our beliefs that it doesn't matter if somebody says no. When somebody says no, you want to be in a position that you believe in this stuff so much that, you know, you kind of feel bad for them when they say no. You know that they're missing out. And that's going to help you too. So with your warm market, like be excited, be enthusiastic before you walk into that family Christmas party. Yeah, you're not there to prospect, but maybe it'll come up, and hopefully it does, because I know in my family we have tons of chronic illness that I would love to eradicate and, you know, help people with. So get yourself excited, get yourself in a good spot, so that if you do have that Uncle Joe that shits on your ideas, then you don't let it wreck your night. And also when you do have that person ask you, hey, what have you been doing? Or if they actually outright ask you, hey, how's that Juice Plus going? Then you answer excitedly and not be like, oh, you know, it's good, I like it. Like nobody's going to buy, right? Or like be interested in what you're doing. Because if you're not excited about it, why the hell should they be? So yeah, get excited. Just even, you know, fake it till you make it if you have to, but get yourself in a good spot. And if you don't have anything exciting to say, then it's better to say nothing at all. That too, right? If you are just know you're going to be grouch about it, then just don't say nothing at all, because we can all be in that spot, right? Be genuine. I love Sandy's line that she used on Michelle, and now I use it all the time with people that I know and that I'm close with. And it's like, you know, I love you, right? Like I'm sharing this because I genuinely care. and I truly believe in these products. I know they're going to help you in some way. You know, this is what they've done for me. It's different for everybody, but I know they're going to help you in some way. And I genuinely care about you. That's why I'm sharing. When you do that, it, like, you can actually watch people's shoulders go down and then relax. You know, it just opens up that conversation and makes it real. And shows that you're not just trying to scam people, because there's so many things. Like, really, I think I was invited to like 4 different online parties today. Just those random mass emails that you get, or mass messages. Like, it's out there everywhere. So just show them that you genuinely care. And that's where we have to remember to take ourselves out of it, right? Like, this isn't about us. Yes, we want to build our check, and yeah, we want a bonus, and we want to get that next position. But when we're out there sharing these products, we got to get our head out of our asses. That's what I tell myself all the time. So don't take that any wrong way. But, you know, we have to get ourselves out of it, because it's not about us at all. These products are amazing. We have tons of research and science behind them to prove that. So we know that we're doing something good. We're offering something good. It's not like when I sold knives and all the other kind of shit that I sold. You knew you were scamming people, right? Like, you knew your heart didn't feel good with it at the end of the day, because you knew you were selling people shit. Like, so this is totally different. We know we have something super amazing. So be proud of it, and just share because you care, and take yourself out of it. Don't get wrapped up in their yeses or their nos. It's not about that. It's just you're sharing information with them, and just, yeah, try not to have any expectations. One book that I've read lately that got me on the expectations and assumptions is The 4 Agreements. Add that to your book list, because it is so good and changes lots of perspectives. And just remember, not everybody likes sushi, right? Not everybody's going to want it. That's okay. That's okay. But if we don't share it with people, then we're saying no for them. I was going to play a video from that Tanya Eliza, but I think I'm going to link it in our group instead, because the service keeps telling me that it's kind of sketch. But she talked about one example of how lots of us have been in this for like a year or more now. So you've probably exposed your warm market to it, right? You've probably had some of those conversations, and maybe they didn't go as well as you expected them to, or wanted them to, or whatever. But that doesn't mean that's totally out of the running, right? They're not off the list, they're not off the table. But we have to step up and do something about it if we want to change what happened before. So this year, if you had that person that you floundered with last year and just vomited a juice plus, genuinely go up to that person. If you think that they're going to be open, there's just some people I know I'm never going to approach, because I know I'm never going to get over that fence. Don't put yourself through that shit. You know when people are going to be open to that, or more willing to explore more holistic avenues and stuff like that. So don't set yourself up for failure. We don't need to take every challenge head on, but if you had that person that that this would really be a good fit for, then go to them and just be honest and humble, and be like, you know what, last year, I know I shared this with you, and I was just getting started, and I was super excited, and I just kind of vomited it all over you, and I can't stop thinking about that and how I screwed it up, and I was just wondering if you would be willing to give me a chance to go over it again with you. I've learned a lot in the last couple months or the last year. I know so much more about this. You can pertain it to an illness or a concern they might have, like sleep or their skin or something, and go at it again. Just because you screwed up the first time doesn't mean you've lost that opportunity totally. And just by simply being humble and saying, like, I totally know I screwed that up, and I'm so sorry I vomited all over you. Can I do that again? And then also, one thing she talked about was just asking, because they are your family, right? They love you. They're there to support you, whether they're good at voicing it or not. You can just genuinely say, like, we have the most amazing money back guarantee. Get to know that money back guarantee, because it really is amazing, and it really does mean that people can try without really risking anything. So you can say that to your warm market. Be like, you know what? I love your personality. I know you're super honest and trustworthy, or whatever you want to say about them, make it tailored to them, and just say, would you be willing to just try this for a couple months? And if you like it, that's fantastic, and we can discuss that more. Just, and tell them about the money back guarantee, because, if people start this and they get on a good schedule and take it every day, they're all going to feel something good, right? It's the people who complain about it or send it back or don't want it or whatever. Those are the people that, take it on Tuesday and then take it on Saturday and take it next Wednesday. So, ask them, just genuinely ask them, would you be willing to do this for me? It would be great to get your honest feedback. There's totally no risks. If you don't love it, we just send it back and you get all your money back. Would you be willing to do this for me? And who knows what kind of benefits you're going to experience. And then, they might not join your business. They might not even stay on the products, even if they like it, because family's just weird like that. But they might share with their friends and their people in their lives the experiences they had. So you might get referrals that way. So yeah, step outside your comfort zone. Don't be scared of the warm market, because they can be super scary. But just remember, even if they're talking super negative shit, they do it because they genuinely care. So from interest to action. Like, I know I have had tons of people that sit on that fence for months and months and months. And it's just like, how the hell do you get them off there? Like, what can I do? And I've been watching a lot of videos lately, as I'm always am. But one of them, I took a couple points from all of them, but one talked about just simply putting it out there, just asking on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you at? 10 being ready to jump in and start the product, and 1 being like, get out of my face, I don't want to hear about it anymore. Where are you sitting? And just genuinely ask people that. And if they say like, hey, I'm at a 6, like, okay, that's great. Like, what information do you need next to get yourself to an 8 or to a 10 or whatever? Just simply putting it out there is so much better for you and so much better for them, because it doesn't leave that lingering wonder. They're not like trying to avoid you because they don't know when you're going to message them again and try and sell to them or whatever, right? You've just laid it out there. And then you'll start to talk about their concerns if they do have them. Sometimes it's money, sometimes whatever, they're changing jobs, or it's just not the right time in life. But if you know those things, and you start to be genuine with them, then you can see where you can go back and follow up with them. If it's a money thing, just say, when do you expect that you're going to be on your feet? Or you can start to talk to them about the business or whatever. But you can set that time that you're going to follow up. And I genuinely say to people now, like, I'm going to bug you in a month. Just know that if they show interest, like if they tell me to bugger off, obviously I'm not going to say that. But if they've shown some interest and been like, oh, it's just life's hectic right now or whatever. And I'll be like, I totally get that. Like, mom life is crazy, but I'm totally going to bug you in a month, because I know that this stuff is so amazing. So, and most times they're like, yes, please keep bugging me. I need that little nag in the background or whatever. Nothing to lose and so much to gain. That's, again, going back to that money back guarantee if you have people on the fence. And with that, like, we don't want all these people ordering and then sending it back and getting 2 months of whatever free Juice Plus. That's where we have to get really good with that customer service. When we do get those customers, touching base on day 1, day 3, day 7, day 10, 2 weeks, and helping them build that routine, because that's what really makes the difference, is getting it to be a solid routine. Be real, just ask them straight out, where are they at? What are they skeptical about? It's better to just ask and get it out there, and it's just better for everybody in the long run. Children's health study, remember, like, that thing is so awesome, so awesome. The results are amazing from it. The amount of children this company has helped from it is extraordinary. But simply, like, really, unless you have a miracle child, does yours eat asparagus and papaya and broccoli? Probably not, right? Like, so that's a great avenue to go down, is just simply talking, hey, how do you get your kid to eat some veggies, and start that conversation. Because it's not like I stopped trying to get Asher to eat veggies. It's still a struggle, but then it just leads into that area where you can start to talk about it. Money. One lady said, I think it was Kim McCall I was watching the video on, and she talked about money being an obstacle. And I liked how she said obstacle instead of objection, because, we could feel like we're broke all the time and we could be in a situation, but that doesn't mean you have to be in that situation forever. So it's not an objection, it's an obstacle. We can overcome that. Just wanted to add that in there. But she said, Lucas, what I like, pretend I'm saying this to somebody else. Like, look, as someone who has a huge history of chronic disease in my family, I see Juice Plus as an investment, not an expense. When I look at my family tree, I really see a family that can afford to not be taking Juice Plus, which is true. Like, if you look around, because nobody wants to face it or talk about it or think about it, we all just really go about lives just waiting and hoping that we stay healthy, right? Unless you've joined something like the Healthy Living Revolution, like we have, where it's in your mind all the time and we're actively doing something. But really, think about our lives prior to starting Juice Plus. Did you ever really think, like, did you really take your health into that big of a consideration? Not really. I didn't. Even working with sick people all the time, I was skinny, so I was healthy. That was my go about it. Like, and I have all the knowledge of a nurse, which just is crazy. So, you know, just go back to that, and really that touches people's hearts and makes them think like, hey, you know, yeah, grandpa had a stroke. Maybe if he had done this earlier in his life, or, you know, it might not have stopped it, but it could have prolonged it or whatever. You know, touch people's hearts, make them really think, just make them really think about themselves. When I'm talking about the business, when people are like, oh, you know, I just couldn't do that. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't think I could do it either, but now it's paying the mortgage payment and I'm pretty excited about that. You know, like, when people equate it to a bill that they might struggle with each month, or, you know, just all of those bills, none of us like the bills, right? It just gets them thinking like, hey, yeah, it's something that they can really connect to. Like, yeah, we all love money. Money is great, but we don't connect to a number. We connect to paying the damn hydro bill and paying the mortgage and getting the kids sports equipment, you know, things like that. And on the topic of cost too, again, you can say, you know, for us, I stopped, now that I had that health insurance that we were taking, we were flooding ourselves with these fruit and veggies. I wasn't doing those, you know, I wasn't buying those guilty things that I knew that we all should be eating, but just went rotten in my fridge. You know, I stopped buying that stuff that we were wasting because I didn't have that mom guilt anymore. I knew we were getting it into our bodies. Yes, we still ate fruits and veggies, but I didn't buy those things that I knew we should be eating, but probably weren't going to be eating. And then also you can stop taking whatever multivitamin you're taking right now, you know, and there might be some education that needs to come around that, because people sometimes are really stuck on their multivitamins. But there's tons of new research that's come out in 2017 on the effects of those multivitamins. So we don't have to be experts, but I definitely encourage you to take a browse over some of that, because it's, stop taking your Centrum, just saying that. So, you know, it can actually add money into your family if you stop wasting money. Like, the average family wastes about $150 worth of food per month. Like, that's a huge thing. That's a Juice Plus and a shake order. So, you know, there's ways to go about those obstacles of finances. Christmas gifts. Talk to somebody about a Christmas gift. If they've been on the fence forever, be like, you know, what would you think of, like, somebody got this for you for a Christmas gift? You want me to talk to your husband? If you have a good relationship, you know, don't go creeping all these people's husbands, because that's going to get weird. But, you know, if you have a relationship that you can start that conversation, then that might be something to go about it. You know, like, we all have so much shit. We do. Like, I want for nothing for Christmas. I like want no trinkets or a gift just because you feel you have to. If you wanna, I want money, like, for education, not just money, but for a thing, you know. So many people are getting away from the gifts, and, you know, just buying that thing because you feel like you have to buy that thing. So yeah, like, put this out there. It can be a great gift for somebody, and you're genuinely giving them something that's going to change their life. And shreds, you know, be genuine with your friends and be like, you know, I do these shreds every month. For me, like, I don't do them every month, but whatever, use your, you know, make this your own. But you can say, you know, I host these shreds every month, and it would be so great to have somebody like you beside me and just keeping me accountable, because it's going to just help me stay in the game, because really I always fall off at day 4 and have a beer. But it would be so great if you could be there and we could keep each other in the game. You know, make it fun and exciting, and make them feel like you really genuinely want them there with you. And then too, just remember, you're sharing this because you genuinely care. Make them know that. People want to know why you care and that you care about them. Oh yeah, I just want to do, because there's so much negativity. Every time I open my damn Facebook, it's like, spread kindness and positivity like confetti. There's plenty enough negative shit going on. Don't hit the share button. Like just refrain from hitting that share button on some of that negative shit. If you want to share it, if you have that inkling to hit that button, reread it and ask yourself, like, what for? What good is this going to do if you share that? Because there's already enough negative Nelly sharing it anyways. You don't need to share it. You want to be known as the person who is a lighthouse, who is the positive one, not the one who's shitting on everything all the time. So just a friendly reminder, our Facebooks really are our storefront, so make it positive. And one thing I did recently with my Facebook, and I have to keep doing, but is I went through, I scrolled through my feeds and I deleted anything like from when I started Juice Plus and was like Juice Plus, Juice Plus, Juice Plus. I deleted all of that because you don't want somebody scrolling through your feed, because we all creep each other. Believe it or not, like even your employers are going to creep you. You don't want to be known as the Juice Plus Vomit Girl. So, go through those unnecessary posts and get rid of them. Go through posts that you post that just didn't work, that didn't get any likes or any comments, and learn from those. Don't just delete, but learn from what didn't work and learn from what did work. But those things don't all need to be on there, because people are going through your profile and they're looking at everything that you've done in the last year. So, make sure that you're giving a good representation of what you want portrayed. And then I thought about doing a Tower Garden Facebook event, maybe as a team, because I know a lot of us have gardens, and last year in December, I actually had quite a few people buy gardens as gifts. So don't write off December. It really can, with the gardens, like it really can be a good month. The check that came in January was one of my best. So I was thinking that we could do something like that. We could set up an event as a team with like 5 of us hosting or whatever, and we could do a couple different videos and make it personal, because lots of us have gardens. We could just each take a topic or whatever and do a little video at home, and go about that. So we should do that in the next week if we're going to do it, and I'll keep the discussion going on this on our group page. And then pack associations. Melanie, we have to talk to them about this instead of that stupid hill. But anyways, PAC is your parent advisory council. Each school has one. Those are the people that you want to talk to if you want to get a garden into your school, into that school. So start thinking about that, because really every school should have one, I think, and I really want to try and get them into lots of schools in Manitoba. So start exploring your PACs, get to learn your PAC, go to your meetings. I'll show up more, but it's bad night. Yoga's on the same night. Yoga's way more peaceful. But yeah, look at the Tower Garden website, because there's like curriculums for every grade. There is just so much information, and it is just so important to be teaching them young how to grow food and where the food comes from. And I just think this is so important, so I had to put it in there. So get to know your PAC. Shreds. I think we should really shred it up in January. Because everybody wants to focus on getting healthier, and that's like the thing on everybody's brain. So I really think we should put in some effort right now. And I know Bev, you talked a lot about this on the posts, and like keep up your awesomeness, because every day that you post something, you make me smile that you're kicking ass and you keep everybody else motivated too. So yes, thank you for getting our minds thinking about that. We could definitely do one in December too. There's still time to do one around Christmas. I'm just really not good at being a shred leader. So if somebody wants to volunteer on doing one in December, I'll definitely hop on board, but I'm not good at being a leader for those things. So yeah, but I definitely think we should do one. If there are anybody who wants to volunteer and be a leader, I know Lisa's really good at them. She's done a couple of them, and she just really gets into them. Bev, I think you'd be really great at it. I just fall off the wagon on day 4 with the beer every time. Every time. But I'm going to stick to it in January. It's a new year. I can at least do it for 1 month. So I think we should try and do 2, because my only thought on that is some people I think are going to be discouraged on January 1st because all those bills come out from Christmas. And that's a super awful, stressful time for lots of people. So I thought maybe we should do 2 of them to open it up for more people, and just keep all that momentum going that comes in January. So yeah, I'll keep everything that's discussed here. We'll keep a feed going in the group and keep discussing it. But if anybody wants to think about hosting and being the leader on there, that would be awesome. And go, if you haven't gone into the Healthy Living Revolution, into that back page, like scroll all the way down and go to that wheel, and then the password is revolution. If you haven't gone in there and explored like all of the crazy amount of resources they have for the shred, make sure you do that, because there is like so much in there. There's a tool for everything in there. There's tons of videos. It's a really great resource, and it talks about how to invite people to the shred, how to help support people through the shred, and then how to follow up with people after the shred, because that is really, really important. Like this is just, a 10-day kickstart, but you want to use that 10 days to build that relationship and really get them to be a solid, believing customer. 8 seconds of bravery, my most favorite and hated topic of all. So I could probably talk about this every month because it's so important. And the 8 seconds of bravery, I think, came up when I was doing the Brene programs, is where I might have first heard that topic. But it's a rodeo saying, is from the bull rider. So the Alberta girls use it all the time. But it is so true. So we need to set our standards, think about our standards for one. Like, how do we let people treat us? How do we treat ourselves? What do we let ourselves tolerate and not? Think about those things. And if you don't have any standards, like we all do, but maybe we haven't really thought about them, get deep with them and think about what are things that you've been allowing to happen to you or go on around you that really don't make you feel very good. And you could stop, but you still let them happen. Think about those things and set those boundaries and stop letting them happen. I don't know if you know about the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 rule, the 5-second rule by Mel Robbins. Seriously, it seems so stupid, and she says that too, but it works. It super works. We don't always want to do things that we're supposed to do. Like majority of the time that you want to do something, you should do something, you don't want to do it. We can't always wait till we want to do something or we get that feeling or whatever. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is a great tool. Like seriously, say it in your head or say it out loud, and whatever you're like not wanting to do, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and get the fuck up and do it. Like I've been using this with my snooze because I will sleep till noon. Like I could every single day, if I allowed myself to. So now instead I 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I get my ass out of bed whether I like it or not. And really, that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 just seems so silly, but by counting backwards, it actually triggers your brain to stop that thought and allows you that tiny gap. It's very tiny, so you have to utilize it well, but it allows you that gap of thought space to put in a new thought. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I think about my feet on the ground and I put them there and I get up. And then once you're moving. Like, right? Action starts everything. We can't wait for motivation to kick us in the butt and do things. And think about it, like 8 seconds of bravery is, those things that we know we should do and we just chicken out or we stay in our comfort zone or whatever, instead of just having 8 seconds of bravery and getting over it and doing it. Because once you're doing it, the scariest part is the first step to doing it, right? To doing everything, to having that bad conversation or hard conversation, to getting up on stage, to phoning that person. The hardest part is dialing the phone number, right? Like once you're on there, it's not that bad. So think about moments where you could have used 8 seconds of bravery and changed everything. And I can definitely talk about one, which, like, actually now that I'm trying to talk about it, is hard to talk about because it's fearful, is Michelle's event. I totally fucking chickened out on standing up there and introducing her. She asked me, like, okay, we get ready to get started. I can totally go up there and just get it going, or you can introduce me, whatever you want. And I totally took the out and said, oh, you can just do it. That's fine. And that was just me chickening out. And I have been mad about that every single day since. Like, how stupid. If I had just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and kicked my ass up there and done it, I would have been proud of myself. I would have felt better. And I wouldn't have been sitting here how many weeks later still irritated with myself. Like, and there's so many things like that, now that I catch myself and I'm starting to recognize these things, fuck, it's just easier to just do it. Just get over it and do it. Another example is, setting boundaries for yourself and those standards of how you let people talk to you and the things you let come into your life. And one example for me is when I went to Montreal. I don't know who's Rebecca, if you watch this, don't tell your sister. But so when we came home, Coralie came over and, I knew she was going to do it before she even opened her mouth. And I should have just said, you know what, Corey, I don't want to hear it. I had a great time and I just don't want to, because you have those fucking rights to do that, right? We have those rights to say, you know what, that gossip or that story ain't going to serve me. Thanks, but no thanks. I just don't want to hear it. Can we talk about something else? We all have the rights to do that, and believe me, the world would be so much better if we did. So instead of me saying that when my brain was screaming, just tell her you don't want to hear it, tell her you don't want to hear it, I let her speak her piece, and she like totally shit on my trip and changed my whole perspective of how it had been perceived by the people that I was with. And that shit still irritates me. And Montreal was like in May? Like, it would have just been better to have my 8 seconds of bravery and said, you know what, I don't want to hear it. And there's so many examples in our life like that. So just, take a moment and think about where that's happened to you, how shitty you felt when you didn't do it, because it feels pretty shitty. And then think about the moments where you did actually harness that bravery and how good you felt. Like, it's way better than the feeling of not doing it, let me tell you. So I just wanted you to think about that. And then I think this is the last slide. Just thinking about your fears, because that's what stops us, right, all the time, is our fear. So think about what they are for you. If we don't know what it is, that's where journaling is a really awesome thing, and I encourage you to start doing that. It's just like, writing down what you're grateful for each day, writing down something good that happened that day, writing down something that pissed you off that day, or didn't make you feel very good. It might seem like weird, but by writing these things down, you start to recognize, because this world is so busy and nobody talks, like barely anybody talks to each other. We don't sit and ever take time for ourselves. We check off the list, we get the husband, we get the kids, we get the picket fence, we do all that, we get the job, and we just do what we're supposed to do. But by sitting down and journaling and meditating and taking the time to yourself to actually ask yourself these questions, it will really change everything, because if anything, it just makes you recognize those moments and those things that are happening and stopping you. So start journaling, write down what scares you. Like, what was I scared about getting up at Michelle's thing, when I have been beating myself up about it for the last couple of weeks? When I dig into it, what was I scared about? I was scared about the Winnipeg women that were there, that I feel super intimidated by, and I didn't want to screw up in front of them and give them a reason to laugh at me, which is super fucking ridiculous, because they totally wouldn't have laughed at me. And I know even if I had floundered and screwed up, they probably would have given me a hug at the end and it would have been all fine, right? Like, really, the things that we like, I don't remember the quote word for word, but it was like, I've had a million things that I've been scared of in my life that have stopped me from doing things, and none of them came true. Like, really, most of the things that we're scared of don't even happen. And that wouldn't have happened. Like, even if I fucked up, nothing bad would have happened to me. I would have been fine. It's just think about those things. Or the fear of saying something stupid, or the fear that you don't know enough. We do not need to be experts. Like, that's why there is video. That's why we have experts in this company. You don't need to know everything. So try and get past that. Know what worked for you. That's your story. That's what you have to know. Yes, knowing some of the research is great, but getting solid with your story is the most important thing. One thing I get fearful about or feel shamey about is that I fell off the wagon and I smoke. Like, that is a thing that I struggle with all the time. And me and my yoga instructor were talking about this the other day. And like, how, it's hard being in this health and wellness industry sometimes, because people look at you like you're supposed to be perfect, right? Like, but we're not. We don't have to be. And that's where getting real and just putting yourself out there, you know, takes down that wall. Like if you're just honest and just say like, hey, yeah, I do this, but I'm also doing all these other things to try and make myself healthier. It's okay to have a fault. Like we're not all perfect. You know, I love when I've gone to lots of different yoga people and they're all like, oh, life is wonderful. It's all great. No, it's not always fucking wonderful. It's not. Like she will come in and be like, oh my God, the kid was in the mud. It tore apart all my plants and it was an awful day. Let's do some effing yoga. Like that's the real shit. That's the stuff we need to start putting around. Like everybody puts out the highlight reel, and I'm super guilty for this too. And that is one of the things I'm challenging myself for in 2018 is to stop the highlight reel and start actually getting real and sharing those shitty moments with people. Because if you're having it, somebody else is having it too. It's not just, you're never alone. There's always somebody else experiencing that. So yeah, just start thinking about your fears, write them down. And once you write them down, they usually seem pretty silly, for one. You usually realize that you're either worrying about something in the past that you can't control or can't change, or you're really worrying about something in the future, which hasn't even happened yet. You know, just by writing them down, it like usually can burst that fear bubble pretty quickly. And if not, then you know the areas that you need to work on. Because confidence is a muscle. It's not a personality trait. It is something that's developed and that we can all develop. And about being, I guess it's not about being real, but about buffer. I want to talk about buffer and like how good of a tool it can be, because we don't always have positive days. Because yes, with getting real, you want to, like when I spilt my camera's broken on my phone. I don't know what the hell is going on, but I spilt milk all over the floor this morning, and I wanted to post that and be like, yep, Monday morning, this is how it's starting, you know, real life. Like it's not always perfect and the kitchen's not always flipping clean. But I like, don't take posting real as posting all of your negative, dirty laundry on Facebook either, right? There's a gray area there. So remember that. But on my topic of buffer, don't worry, I'm almost done rambling because I can feel the rambles like building up. Buffer is super amazing because we don't always have good fucking days, right? I have probably just as many bad days, if not more bad days than good days. So buffer is super awesome for when you're having those super awesome days, you're feeling super positive and super productive. Buffer is amazing because you can put out, for the free one, I think it's 10, and if you pay like $10 a month or something, you can put out over 100 posts and get them all out there on your super positive days. And if you've noticed, I've had ones that come out at like 7 in the morning. So on days that I'm feeling very positive, I will fill my buffer and get all of those ready. And now, you know, they come out every day. And yes, buffer kind of buggers up your algorithm on Facebook. But the way I look at it, if I was having a shitty day, which sometimes I am, and I just don't want to look at Facebook or talk to anybody, I wouldn't have posted anything. So if that buffer post goes out and is seen by 25% of people instead of 100% of people, it's better than no post going out at all, right? So, and if anything, me doing those helps me on my shitty days too, right? It keeps you motivated because it's like, hey, I wrote those words down. I put those out into the universe. Maybe I should listen to my own advice. And it really is helping. And buffer also gives you analytics. So you can go back and you can see what posts worked. You can see if you put in a link, like a web page for somebody to open, it will tell you if people clicked on that or not. You know, people might click on it. I had a post where I thought nobody liked it, and like I thought it was really good. I was, what the hell? So I went to the analytics, and actually 17 people had opened that link, but nobody liked it or commented. And that's so, like, almost all of the girls that hopped on board onto the team in January had never liked a post. I would have never in a million years thought that they were interested at all, right? We all do that for some weird reason. You know, we don't want to show people that we're interested in something or whatever. So yeah, explore buffer. It is a super good tool for your business, and it's good for your positivity. So that is the end of my rambles. I am going to post this as soon as the service allows me. I'm going to stop the recording.